This week at Lebanon Road, we're talking about encouraging through social media. Wow.
Nobody uses social media, Adam.
Well, amazingly enough, JD, a couple of people do. In fact, we upload these videos through YouTube, which is considered a social media site. We promote them through Facebook and different things, social media. But I was actually thinking this morning about how new social media is. You know, it's so much a part of so many lives. We both use it for a lot of things, but you know, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube did not exist 11 years ago.
It's hard to imagine life without them.
It really is, yeah. And of course, the internet's been around for a while, but so often, as we were getting ready for this, I mentioned so often we talk about how not to use these things, how people are, you know, making mistakes or doing things that are unchristian-like. But I want us to spend just a few minutes. Obviously, we try to keep these short. Just sharing some ways that we have or we've seen people use, you know, things like Facebook and Twitter, and we're going to try not to use the names a lot because probably in 5 years Facebook won't exist and something else will be, will be the deal of the day. But they'll all have the same premise. But some ways these things can be used that encourage people, and some ways to make sure we are being Christians and involved in those things. And the verse that kept coming to my mind was where Paul wrote to the Colossians, to let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt. You know, and sometimes we take that and we flip it to the negative. Don't do this on Facebook, or don't do that on Twitter, or don't leave a comment on a blog that says, well, how about doing that? How about writing an encouraging Facebook post, or how about writing you know something on a blog where you are commenting on, no matter whether it's a religious blog or not, you know, whatever it is, a family blog or a news blog that encourages the writer or encourages the subject of the story. And I've seen so many people do that, you know, through these different outlets where they just write something, sends them a message. I'm just thinking about you. I'm just praying for you. You know, those things where we use this tool, and it is a tool to encourage people.
Yeah, what a great opportunity to build people up through all of those social media outlets that you've already named. I mean, so many times people use social media as a way to air dirty laundry or
act mad at everything.
Yeah, or talk about someone without actually saying their name. Don't do that in social media. I mean, the world sees that. If you have a problem with somebody, talk to that person. And maybe if you have a spiritual conflict with somebody, maybe this is not the appropriate outlet for that. But in what Adam is saying, I think what a great opportunity to put a Bible verse out there.
Yeah.
Or when somebody really does write a good article, or there's a good sermon, or somebody has done a good deed, you post it on there. That can't help but just enrich people's lives.
Yeah, I read a book, or ebook, not that long ago that talked about some of these things. And one of the things they mentioned, it was two authors, one of the things they mentioned in the book was that they often, using different social media platforms, would just put a spiritual sounding question out there. You know, who has helped you in your spiritual journey? Or you know, who has taught you the most about a New Testament book? And then they say the amazing thing is the comments just swell. Yeah. Whereas they put out, I'm going to the mall and getting shoes. You know, nobody really cares. I'm sorry. I mean, those things are fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I said what's amazing is how people want to interact with those questions. You know, they just throw some generic spiritual question out there, and people want to express that. And that's a great way to use it. You know, just put out on whatever social media outlet you prefer. Just throw out a question that's very generic, you know, a spiritual question, a religious question, but not when you're trying to stir up controversy or anything like that. But you know, who's someone who's encouraged you to be a better Christian? You know, what's your favorite Bible verse? And you'll be amazed at people who take the 3 seconds it takes to put a comment there, just to give that feedback. And so there's a way to use social media, is throw questions out there that may not, you're not trying to set up a Bible study, but you're just trying to get people to interact in the spiritual realm, the religious realm.
Yeah, another great way is to help promote the activities of the church.
Yeah, I think you just did that a few minutes ago, actually.
Yeah, I just put some things on several media outlets to let our youth know what's going on. I do that. But even more powerful than a minister writing, hey, here's what's coming up at the church and in the work of the church, is you, the individual member, doing that. I mean, how much more powerful. Looking forward to this event, looking forward to Rake and Run on Saturday, or we've got this event coming up at church, and I hope that you can be there. You know, it's so much more weightier to come from you, for your friends to receive it from you, than it is for to receive it from maybe a minister, because everybody knows that's a minister's supposed to.
That's right. It looks like part of their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, churches, I've seen a lot of churches doing a great job, through all sorts of social media, getting the word out about events and things. But you're right. If just, quote unquote regular members says, I'm really looking forward to the gospel meeting or to the youth devotional, that says something.
Yeah.
It says something about their excitement, but also people are going, why? Why would they be interested in going to, serve soup at the soup kitchen or whatever the church is doing? And there's some intrigue that's built there. Yeah. Another thing I think about, especially the sites that let you share other things. Why do we always have to share things about our favorite sports teams and our favorite movies and all these things? Why can't we share articles, sermons, as you mentioned, that are religious in nature? Here's a sermon I enjoyed from last Sunday, that or a podcast I listened to that this sermon or this recent whatever episode was helpful, or here's an article from from a brother in Christ or a sister in Christ that really helped me. Those things. It's an amazing use of social media, and it is amazing to watch how that stuff builds, the viral nature. Man, I get millions of views or millions of hits, but it is amazing to see how non-Christians see you're posting things of a religious nature on, maybe not every day, but fairly regularly, and they're going, why would you spend so much of your time, reading things by that person or listening to sermons by that guy or that program, and why are you willing to share it? And it just builds, again, that intrigue in people as to why this is such an important thing to you.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity.
And so there are so many other things we can think about, but we wanted to take just a few minutes to think about this part that's so much a part of life for a lot of people. And I've heard people say, by the way, I don't do Facebook, I do Twitter. Well, then Twitter is a part of your life, So
social media.
Social media is not just Facebook, although right now it's the the giant one with I think it just crossed 1 billion users, which is just unbelievable.
Wow.
But most of us, if you're watching a video like this, use some sort of social media, even if it's just commenting on blogs or websites, those sorts of things. That's social media because you're interacting. And so often we talk about the ways not to use it. We want to think about some ways to use it because it is a great tool. You just think of the numbers, 1 billion on Facebook. Twitter, I believe, is now over about 300 million. The numbers are just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And if those numbers are there, Christians need to be salt and light in those spaces. Whatever, even if it's MySpace.
What? What is that?
Friendster? Let's stop.
Yeah, please.
Before we go way back into the 1900s.
No.
We don't want to go to last millennium.
I wasn't even alive then.
Liar. But we hope this has encouraged you to see these things as a tool for evangelism, for encouragement, and how to share things with people, and maybe encourage you to use them for more of a positive way than just, as you mentioned, airing dirty laundry, just complaining about everything all the time and why your team stinks. And they need to fire that coach. Those sorts of things. But we hope this has encouraged you. JD, before we sign off, this Saturday is the Rake and Run, so take just a moment and let the young people who might be viewing this know about that, and then we'll sign off.
Okay. This Saturday, Rake and Run, 10 a.m. at the building. We're going to go out. We've got some names people have given me and some names that we want to go. Depending on how many people are going to be there, we're going to bust up into groups and go to these homes and rake up their yards and maybe do a little bit of work if they need something else done outside. We'll be happy to try and do that. I hope that you will be a part of this.
This is not just the teenagers.
Yeah, not just the teenagers. It was great. Last year we had teenagers and younger kids and parents and some adults from the congregation. We were all there having a lot of fun out there in the leaves, but everybody working together. It's a beautiful picture of, I think, something that the Lord had in mind for His church. We're working together to help fellow brothers and sisters. And so I really hope that you can be a part of that and that you'll purpose in your heart to join us in that. It's a great work. It's a great opportunity to let your light shine. And it's fun too. We have a lot of fun doing this. So it's 10 a.m. at the building. We'll be out for a couple of hours and then we'll be back to the building. So you're not sucking up your whole Saturday, but certainly something worthwhile.
Very good. It is a fun day, and our kids enjoy it, and I enjoy it too. But the kids really enjoy it because they get to jump in they get to rake the leaves. studies.
Yeah, yeah.
And we hope you'll be there again, 10 o'clock Saturday morning. We look forward to being back with you again next week for one of these videos. Until then, this is This Week at Lebanon Road.